Hi, everybody, and welcome to our team call. Today is August 12th, 2015, and we are going to be talking all about a little, diving deep into time management. And the idea for this call, it was kind of inspired by a lot of coaches on our team, including me, because I think we do too much, and we try to be everything to everyone all the time. And it's too much, and if we don't know what's important, we just end up either putting fires out all day or constantly reacting to things that feel urgent that are not. So we're going to try to make some, going to decipher what really is important and what's not. And I always like to refer back. So before I did Beachbody full-time, I was doing real estate, and everything in real estate is actually very urgent because you're dealing with people's money and their livelihood in their home, and it's you have to do this now. Luckily, you guys, we sell protein shakes. No one's gonna die. It's all good. We can help people live, but we gotta take a little pressure off, a little weight. We gotta have a little more fun. And it actually, when you do that and you put time into what's important, your business looks more fun and your life looks more fun because it is, and you don't want to be a slave to your business. So I'm going to go through, I made a little presentation, so let me screen share with you guys. 1 second. Okay, can you give me a head nod? Can you see this? Okay, I'm going to get the big one up. You know what? Let me just double check. I know I hit record, but now I'm worried I didn't hit it, but I am. Okay, we're good. Okay, going back. Okay, you can see it? Okay, and if you're new to the call, just go ahead and mute yourself. I'm going to mute a couple people here just so we don't get any background noise. Think of questions as we go through. Please write them down, and I want to hear from you guys. What are some of your, by the end of the call, what are some of your top time management tips? Maybe I missed something that's really helpful for you in your business. And okay, so here we go. Let me present. Okay, so it's all about priorities, life balance, self-love. We have to love ourselves, and we really can have it all when we prioritize and we figure out and we're going to do a big brain dump. I'm going to have you guys write down a bunch of stuff that's important, really prioritize, and then once you have your priorities set, then you schedule them into your day based on what they are. And you really can have it all if you know what's important. It's easy to say no to the things that aren't. So, okay, what I want you to do, I know y'all have your cell phones with you, so take your cell phone out. And Casey, this will be tricky for you because you're on a walk. I know you're outside, but take your cell phone and turn the camera on and flip it so it's facing you. This is really dorky, but I did this today and it made me feel really good. Okay, so turn it so it's facing you so you can see yourself in the camera, and hug yourself big. And I want you to look at yourself, and you're all muted, so you have to do this out loud. And I don't know if you can do it or not if you're doing it because I can't see your faces, but I trust that you're going to do this and you're going to say it out loud. You're going to say, I love myself. I am worthy. I work hard. I am a great friend. I am a great coach. I have a wonderful business. I love my life. I'm healthy. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. I'm an inspiration to people. People look up to me. I have a purpose to fulfill, and I'm worthy. And just say all sorts of things like that to yourself, and love yourself and hug yourself, because we have to start there. Do it. It's so cheesy, but you have to do it. And I want you to start doing this every morning when you wake up, literally looking in the mirror and giving yourself that love, because it has to start, because we're so hard on ourselves. We're so mean to ourselves. We're mean about our time management. We're mean about, where our business is, and we blame ourselves. But we would never talk the way we talk to ourselves to someone else. So talk kindly to yourself. Okay, you can stop hugging yourself, but I hope that helps. So that has to start from a place of love, of gratitude, of grace, of the affirmation that you are worthy. Okay. Here is my deepest desire in the depths of my heart is for you guys to have a wildly successful business. And I also want it to be while you're maintaining your sanity, balance, love, and self-respect for yourself. It doesn't take flying off the handle and being a crazy Beachbody person. I will say, and we'll talk about this, it takes sacrifice, and we're going to figure out how to make some of those sacrifices, because you can't just not work at your business and expect it to be wildly successful, right? That's not what I'm saying, but The desire is for you to have an exploding and abundant business, but that also makes your life abundant, okay? Okay, so just like some just key points, and we'll kind of dig deeper into what this looks like and how to schedule it. But you have to start with a vision of what you want the business to look like. So for some of you new coaches, we'll go through and we'll talk about, the difference of what a discount coach is. Are you in this just so you can get some discounts on some products and you love Beachbody? Great. It's better for all of us to know, and for the people you sponsor into the business to know if that's what they want, so you're not pushing anything on them. Do you want to be a hobby coach? Are you someone who wants to use the products, get a discount, and kind of be the go-to person if someone asks about a product? Or do you want to be a business builder? That's what I am. Do you want to give this a full-time effort and do this business? Do you want to make a six-figure income, do this business all the way, be a product of the product, and end up being like the person that everyone thinks when they think Beachbody, they think your name. So what are you? And I think the beauty, the big thing to remember there is know that if your priority is family first, no matter what, I need to give them a certain amount of my time every single week, and you haven't scheduled Beachbody as a priority into your life, just know that your business is going to reflect that. So you can't get upset at the results you're not making if you're not making your business a priority. So I just want to set that straight too. So know what it is you want. What do you want out of the business? And that really dictates your schedule and how you're going to put this into your life. And then as a leader, what are your priorities so that your team, the people on your team, know what your priorities are? You get to design your business. It is no one's business but yours. And then think about what do you and don't you do as a coach. So think about the things you want to do when you bring in a new coach. Do you need webinars? Do you need business presentations? The cool thing is I have all that for you guys. So maybe that's not what you need and you can cross that off your list. But decide the things that you're going to do well. Maybe, like I have a couple coaches who their goal every single month is to hit Success Club and run a challenge group. But they're not really looking big business picture. They're just looking, this is what I need to do for now to maybe get me through the school year or just kind of keep me coasting through this year. So whatever it is, saying, my focus is challenge groups. So I'm going to do that really, really well. And then let go of the rest, because we cannot do everything really well. And pick, one thing to work on at a time and let go of the rest. Let go of some of that expectation you've put on yourself to do everything. Okay, here's the biggest, and if you walk away with nothing else tonight, please listen to this. Let go of other people's businesses. Let it, and you can sing it. You can say, let it go. And my voice is hoarse. Let it go. And cry in your living room. I do that pretty frequently. Their success, your coach's success, is on them. You are not responsible for that. Here's the difference is, obviously as a team, we're providing training, we're providing support, we have everything for them. We're not leaving them high and dry. That's not what I'm saying. When we bring in a new coach, it's our job to make sure we help them and get them started right and point them to the training, but we cannot build their business for them. I know I'm beating a dead horse, but it's a lesson I've had to learn over and over, and I watch a lot of you guys struggle with that. So please listen to me. Your people will do what you do, and you have to build your business. And we're going to actually talk about the specific ways that we prioritize our Beachbody business for our personal business, and then our Beachbody business that's for a team. And it's a tiny fraction is the team. Mostly it's your own business, because you, like the idea again, is you cannot fill someone else's cup if yours is not brimming. So you must fill your cup. You must do your personal business first. Okay, set a time to answer messages. Oh, good Lord. All of us, we need to do this because we're on Facebook constantly. The beautiful thing, like I said, is we do protein shakes. Like, it's not rocket science. It's not, we're not an ER doctor. So it's not as urgent as we give it. We don't have to answer that message right at that moment. And I think this idea of letting a little bit of it go, like what's meant to be will be. Like, obviously don't be lazy and never message someone back. But if you don't message, if someone says, yes, I want to buy a challenge pack, and you don't message them back in 5 seconds, they're still going to buy it. And if they don't, there's a problem there. There is something deeper anyway. So just give yourself a little wait. Obviously be responsible. Be a good business person. Answer your messages, but set a specific time. And I think that that's going to also help you as you grow your teams to implement telling your team what your business hours are. So that you have boundaries, which moves us on to the next category, which is boundaries. You have to set them. and you have to stick to them so that you have really efficient work hour times that you know this is my Beachbody time. And like I know a lot of you guys have noticed, I haven't been answering texts after 8 p.m. because I'm shutting my phone off and it's in the back room. And so when you make those boundaries really clear, your coaches will start to respect that. And they also respect you as a leader because they might be looking at you. I know some of you guys do this for me because I'm really starting to learn balance, but I'm constantly answering my phone and answering questions, and people go, I can't do that. I can't do what you do. It's too much. It's too nonstop. And that's my own fault that I set that expectation that I was always available. Obviously, I want to be open and available for coaches, but you might find if I don't answer your question, I might write you back and say, did you find the answer to that? Because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to want to wait for an answer anyway. So they're going to find other means, and you want to create that in your coaches anyways for them to be responsible to find their own answers. And most of the time you can Google it and find it better and faster anyways. So set those boundaries. And then freedom. You have to create freedom in your life because, like, I don't want to be like, hey, come join my business. I work all the time. I'm super stressed out and I never get off my computer. Like, no one wants to join that. So you've got to find a way to not just look like you have freedom, like you're working from a coffee shop or you're doing, but to actually feel that freedom that Beachbody gives you. And even if you don't have that freedom yet, it's that idea that I have this peace because I have this business that's going to pay me for the rest of my life. So we just have to be careful what we're putting out there because what we're doing duplicates. And a lot of this stuff I'm preaching to me because I've been doing it and I'm teaching you guys wrong. So I'm sorry, I'm constantly a work in progress and I'm constantly learning. But I was talking to Carla a couple days ago and I told her, I was like, I never do this, but I took the whole weekend off. I had one 20-minute call on Sunday for our team cup, but that was literally it. I got on Facebook only to post about some things I was doing on the weekend. I just opened the notifications and let them go. I didn't even look at them. And I took the whole weekend off. And you guys, I came back feeling so refreshed. And I was ready to get back to work. And then I worked hard and my schedule has been really like packed since then. And I'm making sure I'm getting the most out of my time, but it did wonders for me. So if you're feeling that constant, take a full day off at 20, if you can't do 2 days, take full 24 hours off and really reset your clock. And we'll talk a little bit more about kind of some ways to do that and some affirmation and just how vitally important it is for you to rest so that when it's time to work, when you set aside the actual time and the time chunk to work, you get the most out of it. Because if your brain is just constantly going, and you wake up, it's a grind and your business becomes a life sucker instead of a life enhancer. And we know that is not what we want. So again, rest and digest. You have to have time to let your brain recover. So there's this constant need to hustle, go, stay up all night, sleep when you're dead. Like always this idea of sacrifice. And we will talk a little bit later on prioritizing a sacrifice in order to gain business momentum. And that is a very real thing. So I'm not saying be lazy. I'm not saying sit on the couch. If you do that, you're not going to grow your business. It's just not going to happen. It takes a lot of hard work. But once you set those business hours and you can check out when you're done, I always close my office door. I even say to myself, I'm closed for the day or something stupid or go on a walk to really set that time. Because if you're constantly working and thinking about work and stressing about work and thinking about who you're going to contact and messaging people and nonstop, you're going to burn out. And it actually wreaks a havoc on your body. It creates cortisol, which actually makes you gain weight, which is not what we want to do. We're in health and fitness. We want to be always constantly improving our body and our mind and our spirit. So find a way. You've got to figure out what works for you. I just downloaded a meditation CD that I'm really loving. It's about 5 minutes. I've been doing it in the morning and then at lunch. And then sometimes even when I'm done with the work day to just kind of decompress. Maybe it's praying for you. Maybe it's family time. Maybe it's a walk. Maybe it's your exercise. Whatever it is, you really can reach all of your potential and reach all of your goals and rest. You have time for all of it. And it's vitally important for you to rest. So I know I've beat a dead horse again and again. Rest. You have to take care of you. You have to fill your own cup. So think about doing some of the proactive things, the things that really get your day started, the kind of mind, body, spirit things. So for me, on my list, I love to meditate. I love to work out because that's good for my body. It's good for my business. I need to get up out of my desk. Personal development fuels my mind. It creates better habits in my life, in my business, and in my relationships. my power hour, obviously I do more on my business than 1 hour a day, but my power hour is a focus time where I'm only inviting people to the business or challenge groups. Prayer for me, and then I like to take a couple minutes and visualize every day. What do I want my life to be like? What do I want my body to be like? I have fitness goals. What am I visualizing? What are my goals? What are my dreams? And I know a lot of you guys read the Badass book, and she's got a ton of stuff on visualizing and manifesting into life. So do things that fuel your soul, put them on your list and schedule time for them. And please don't wake up and grab your phone and start scrolling on Facebook. You'll be there a half an hour. It's a time waster. It sucks the life out of you. And then it puts more things in your mind to do. So try to get out of the habit of that morning wake up onto the Facebook. It's a really bad habit. I'm speaking to myself too, because I do that almost every day. So I've been leaving my phone downstairs. So just thinking about some of the things that really fuel you. They don't have to be any of these things. They could be totally different. It could be cleaning the house for you, whatever it is. Okay, so I added this little, this is Brendan Bouchard. He's a productivity coach. And I really liked what he had to say on prioritizing some of your time. So I'm going to play this video. It's about maybe 13 minutes, and then I have our buckets thing that I posted about today. So it's about how to set your priorities, and then we're gonna set those for you and go through some top things within those priorities, and then I'm gonna teach you how to schedule it into your calendar. So let's go ahead and watch this video. Here we go.
Hey guys, it's Brendan. Let's talk about how you prioritize things in your life, how you prioritize your tasks, your activities, your responsibilities, your obligations, your days. Because, it's kind of difficult these days to prioritize anything because there's so many people coming at you from left and right with their notices, their messages, their texts, their voice messages, their emails, begging for your time, for your attention, for your energy. And most people, I hope this is not you, just give that away so freely. You give all of your attention to everybody else and to all the world's false emergencies and to all the world's needs and all the messages and the texts and the timelines, and all of a sudden your day is gone and you have no sense of peace or progress or vitality. I hope that's not you. But if you are finding your days feeling a little frustrating, usually it comes back at some point to how you are prioritizing things during those days. Makes sense, right? So how have you been doing this department? I mean, really think about it. Do you feel like your day's agenda has been your agenda, or is it somebody else's? Or do you even get to shape your agenda? Do you just wake up and respond to everybody all day, and that's your priority, is just responding to everybody all day? Now, if you're in customer service and that's your job, rock on, good job, keep doing that. But if it's not your job to do nothing but respond to customers all day, then we've got to have a higher conversation now and get you back in control of what your day is about. And the only way to do that is to teach you some new ways to think about your prioritization. Now, you guys know I have lots of online courses on these types of topics, from the Achievement Accelerator to the Success Accelerator to High Performance Academy and High Performance Academy Master's Course. Lots of deep dive training on this. So in this video, all I'm going to try to do for you is just give you 3 simple takeaways, 3 new ideas, maybe a reframe of how to think about how you prioritize things. And if you do a good job there, I think you'll find tomorrow, next week, next month, and the rest of this year, you'll be on fire. You'll be back on path. Now, the first idea I have for you is stop prioritizing easy. Stop prioritizing easy. A lot of people, when they look at their to-do list of the day, they just start working towards the easy things, knocking off the easy things. They think that's going to give me some momentum. It'll get me into the day. I'll feel like I'm succeeding. And the reality is it's making them less likely to actually do the things that count. And how do you know this? How do you know if you're guilty of that? You know it if your day feels like there's a lot of busy work, but there's an absence of your life's work. You know what I mean? If you don't feel like your activities during the day are really creating to your vitality, to the contributions you want to make with the world, to doing activities and tasks that you really enjoy, whose fault is that? Is it the man's? Is it the government's? No, it's like you're setting up your day. You could choose what to do with it. Maybe you need to look at doing things that would support you, your health, your vibrancy, your joy, your real growth and contribution in a more significant way. If you feel like there's always busy work, but it's not your life's work, you probably prioritize things at a larger level, maybe incorrectly for you. Now, I don't know this. I can't gauge it. I mean, I'm just talking through here now as I look and as you listen to me. All I can do is encourage you to just look and say, how have I been prioritizing? Have I had a structure? Have I had a framework? Have I had ideas about what's important to me in the world? And I always run my decision-making through those? Because if you haven't set that up, this is the time to do that for yourself. First step, stop prioritizing easy. Just because there's something that's easy to do does not mean it must be done today. What I would rather you to do is say, I am going to prioritize things today that will make significant steps forward in my life. These are, I just say, the opposite of stop or sort of prioritizing easy is to prioritize progress. Things that actually move the needle of your life forward. Things that actually contribute in ways that you find meaningful and significant and fulfilling. And you know you deserve that, but sometimes you get caught up, right? Maybe you've just been caught up in everybody else's, hot mess, and your life thus became a hot mess. It's not because you are, it's that you were just doing the easy things to please people. Because, that's easy. Oh, I'm going to please some people today. But what we need you to do is say, what would significantly move me toward my dreams today? What 3 things must happen today that would be real movement forward? Not like little checklists. Our whole world has gotten so addicted to little tiny checklists that they're not doing anything meaningful. They're not checking off, I'm living my life, So I want you to get back into what would really progress me today. Stop prioritizing ease. Take on something hard every day. You do that, you'll start to find yourself getting a little more confident, a little bit more momentum, a little bit more into that space where you feel like you're doing things you were meant to do. So the second thing is stop prioritizing false emergencies. Just because someone put it on your plate today does not mean you need to reply to it today. Unless it, again, is your job in customer service to reply back within 24 hours. But that is not for everybody. We fall into this false collective belief that we all have to reply to the text on the second we receive it. Then we got to return the call the second it came in. We don't. What I always tell people, being blessed to do what I do now, it's like tens of millions of people watch these videos and watch my work every single year now. Every single week we send out 2 million emails. We talk to a lot of people. I'm out on the road, 9 months out of the year. I'm doing an event with hundreds of people traveling from dozens of countries there. I talk to a lot of people. I get a lot of feedback. And with that feedback comes a lot of requests. Brendan, could you do this for me? Brendan, could you help that? Brendan, could you endorse this? And I know you get the same thing. Could you help me? Could you do these things? I need da, 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 da. And you get all of these people asking you for something. How often are you doing what they're saying and what they're asking for? The more that you're doing what the world tells you or asks of you, frankly, the sad thing is the more you lose your life. You lose yourself in it. You become a pleaser or a placater. You become a person who is just so busy all the time. You're wiped out. You know what I'm talking about. You cannot prioritize other people's emergencies. And here's what you need to do. Learn to say no. Prioritize the things that are going to move you forward, and everything else, realize that's got to be an initial no. And it needs to sound like this. Here's what my email literally says when I send it out to you. I say, thank you so much for your request. Really appreciate you thinking of me. However, while I recognize this is really important for you today, the reality is my plate has already been full and is packed with things that I have planned and prioritized months and months and months ago. I'm executing against a plan that has been in the works for a very long time. So I'm sorry I can't get your sudden need fit into that. I'm happy to put you in queue, but please realize it's likely you won't be hearing from me, or I won't be able to participate that, or I won't be able to do X, Y, Z, whatever they ask me of, for several months, if at all. Now, people say, oh my gosh, that'd be hard to say. I was like, it's true. The first couple times I did that, it was difficult and it made me uncomfortable. It made me feel like, I wasn't being helpful to people. But what is helpful to people is you living your truth, is you serving your highest good in this world, not everybody's speedy, needy request. Look, when people come to me with an emergency, I'm okay going back to the days of self-reliance and saying, you know, why is this an emergency for you all of a sudden? Did you not know this was due? Like, yeah, no, I knew it was due. Or someone said, Brent, I need this tomorrow. And here's what I love to say to them. I say, tomorrow. I said, tell you what, when would you need it? And, you know, if you didn't get it by this certain day, that like your house would burn down. Like major catastrophes, oh crap, your world's gonna fall apart. I mean, the last minute of the last moment of the real deadline. Not when would you like this, not when would you prefer this, not when would it be convenient and nice for you. When would the hit the fan if you didn't get it and people would start dying, you know? And they'll always say, oh, well, you know, then in that case, I really don't need it for another 2 weeks. People will always tell you they need something immediately. One, they usually don't need it. Two, if they do need it, they should have went and got it themselves and been more prepared. Three, you owe nothing to anybody but your own health, your own family, your own major true contributions of what you are and what you want to give to the world. Everybody else is a sudden distraction. That is not going to make me popular saying that, and I get it. But that's how you have to do it. If you really want to learn how to prioritize, you have to realize every request that comes into you is a sudden distraction. It's not on your plan. I'm not saying you can't meet it. I'm not saying you can't handle it. I'm saying reprioritize your life's work to handle somebody else's false emergency. What I want you to do is saying, what's important to me today? And I want you to make sure you accomplish and achieve that. And then fit in everyone else's little requests as is appropriate or needed or responsible for yourself. I know it's difficult when the kids come in and they throw off a couple hours of your day because they have a sudden need or emergency. There are real obligations and responsibilities. Please live your life and manage it responsibly, but also stop doing that little thing that everyone does, giving away all their pieces of the day to anyone who asks, and suddenly they'll find themselves broke with time, broke with energy, broke fulfilling everybody else, and never having lived their own life. Prioritize real deadlines, real responsibilities, real obligations, and prioritize everything else as a sudden distraction. And you will start finding yourself leaping for it. Last one's much more positive. You're like, geez, Brent, I thought you were like the positivity guy and the motivation guy. You know, last one's a lot more easy and more palpable for you, maybe, or palatable, I guess I would say. And that is start prioritizing freedom. Start prioritizing your ability to gain more emotional freedom, physical freedom, social freedom, financial freedom, time freedom. I love looking at people's actual day agenda and I say, where in here is freedom? Where is your ability to do a 20-minute meditation because it's going to make you feel alive and back and grounded, connected? You don't have anything where you prioritize your own psychology today. Where are you thinking about your strategic plan? Where are you thinking about the vision for your life? Where are you daydreaming and napping if you need to do that? Where are you prioritizing your physical energy? Because if you can have physical freedom from fatigue, you'll accomplish a whole lot more, even if your priorities are not always in whack. Like if you absolutely have the financial, the physical freedom, I should say, to be able to just cultivate energy on choice, that comes from having prioritized health during the day. What about time freedom? I mean, I think we're all after time freedom. So where are the breaks in your day? And what are you doing with those breaks? Are you reading stupid, trashy magazines? Or are you sitting and dreaming about how you can contribute more, what your next art is, what the next major thing is that you want to give or serve or be or develop as a human? You have the ability to make your days magical. And I wish someone told me that when I was younger. They say, hey, look, you are the architect of your day. How magical do you really want it to be? Make that decision today, and you will start to experience a lot more of what we call the charged life.
Yay, I love him. So the two key takeaways I thought the biggest were, if you don't learn to say no, you will lose your life. And isn't that the truth? And then if you're not on mute, will you go ahead and mute yourself? And then I love the idea of you get to make your days magical. So let's talk about how do we make them magical and how do we prioritize? So it's all about creating a schedule and designating work hours, especially for this business. We have the tendency to just work, because it feels like it's a never ending thing, because there's always someone better. There's always someone doing something else. So it's honoring those priorities and really creating a structure for your life. So most of you guys on here have full-time jobs. So let's talk about how to make some time in your day when you have a full-time job. So, or if you're a stay-at-home mom, that's a full-time job. So parents, get creative. Like, when do you have little breaks in your day? When are your kids sleeping or at school or occupied? These are your work hours, even if they're in a 20-minute chunk. If 20 minutes means you do your inviting and then 30 minutes later, whatever, you do your workout, you have to find like little chunks in your day. And same with a job. You know, I would hope that you get breaks at some point. Sometimes you just really just need a break from your job, but can you use that time to fill in with some Beachbody activities? When can you fit it in? Your lunch break, a 15-minute break. And this is where I wanted to talk about. I know I feel like I'm a little contradictory in terms of talking about like a sacrifice. But when you're working towards freedom, like when we talk about finding sacrifice in your day, it's because you're working towards an ideal schedule, right? So for most of you, the ideal schedule is to be able to do your business full time and have complete time freedom and flexibility. So whilst building up to that, it takes some sacrifice. So I just wanted to kind of differentiate. So you might have to lose sleep. You might have to wake up really early or work while the kids are sleeping so that you have some quiet time. And then I love the idea of like when you're inspired. Crystal and I talked about this a while ago, and I think she did a bunch of posts at once, and I sometimes do this. If I'm feeling really inspired, I'll craft a bunch of Facebook posts and leave them in the notes tab of my Facebook. That way, at a lunch break or somewhere where I don't really have time to craft a Facebook post, I can go ahead and throw that up there, because it was in a place where I was really genuine. And if I try, you know, when you try to make a really important, inspiring post when you're not feeling it, it just never works. So save those posts. That's a really good time-saving tip. And then the other thing to think about is, what action do you know in your business actually gets you results? So what are the things? I think so often we can get really sucked into busy work in our business, and you have to think about those things that actually earn you money. So they're income producing activities, IPAs, kind of like the beer, but not. So income producing activities are inviting, starting challenge groups, asking people to join the business, crafting Facebook posts, doing a clean eating group, things like that you know will move the needle forward, and things that bring you joy, that you have fun doing in the business. Do more of those things. Okay, so I want everybody to grab a blank piece of paper, and I want you to draw these 5 buckets on it, and they don't have to be pretty. They don't have to be beautiful at all. So grab a piece of paper, and then I want you to like draw lines in between them, separating them. So like, I'll just give you a sneak peek of mine. Like, here's mine. See how I have like lines in between them? Because what we're going to talk about is your personal things versus your Beachbody business, and that they don't bleed into each other, because they're priorities and they're separate and they're separate parts of your life. So draw some lines in between. So the first 3 are going to be personal. So I'm going to let you guys choose these. I don't want to choose them for you. I'll give you examples of mine. And then the last 2 are your Beachbody business. And I want you to write down Beachbody in both of them. The first one is going to be Beachbody, your own personal business. So the things like your marketing plan, how you're attracting new coaches, how you're recruiting, like social media, like your own personal business, you bringing people into the business. So rule of thumb, up until you're about a 2-star coach, you should be spending 90% on your own personal business, right? Because we cannot grow other people's teams. Then 10%, and this is even less if you have no coaches on your team, 100% of your time is for your business, even if you're an Emerald, okay? So 100% business. We'll leave a little dabble for team, no matter where, because the goal is for you to grow a big team, so this ratio will keep changing. 10% of your time is for your team, okay? So in the personal category, so what we're going to do is break down, so you're going to pick 3 personal categories, and then you're going to have your Beachbody to-dos. And then what we're going to do is pick 3 basically main things that go towards that help fill that bucket. So just for an example, so my personal buckets were personal time, like time for me to recharge. My relationships was the second one, and then my health and fitness. So it could be home life, it could be just husband, just family, it could be, so take just a minute and I'll be quiet so you can think of 3 areas in your own personal life, things that areas, so relationships or health and fitness, your home, your crafts or hobbies, your own personal time. Think of 3 things. And you can always add to these later. This doesn't have to be the end all be all. Okay, so so I'll just give you examples. So take the first personal bucket that you put. Let me get out of this big screen really fast, and I want to see if you guys can chat me. Like give some examples of what you put down for personal buckets. Oh, Becca said she had lunch with him at a Speakers Association convention, Brendan Burchard, and he was amazing. Yeah, he's crazy. Julie, like a full-time job, that could be a bucket. Yeah, what do you need to do for that job? Totally. More, yeah, family, exercise, nutrition, kids, chores. Carla, I don't see a just you. I think you need a just you bucket. Maybe relationships could go into, like, it could be relationships, you put your kids in there, but you need you time. Poor Carla, I made her. I'm like, you have to go get a massage. What else, you guys? What other buckets? Perfect. So Leslie's got family time, her jewelry business, and mental health. Perfect. Family health. Okay, so they're all kind of similar. So those are just examples. I don't mean to put them on you, but for me, that's just kind of how they shook out. So what you're going to do for each bucket, you're going to put 3 things, and try to not put too many. I mean, you can always add things, but a new yogurt business. Congratulations. So for me, like my first bucket is personal time to recharge. So I have found in my life, it's called YoFresh. Cute. Sorry, I'm so distracted. I found in my life lately, I have noticed that I don't ever take alone time, and that I need to be alone in order to recharge and to really fill my cup. So for me, I put in this first personal bucket, mine is literally called personal time to recharge. Maybe selfish, but I think I need it. So I put something like, I put reading. I love reading my book. Meditation, prayer, just being quiet and being alone. That could be even TV time, because TV relaxes me. Okay, so think of 3 things for that first bucket. So like for Ron, fun times vacation, what does that mean? Does that mean Parks and Rec for you? What does that mean? Whatever. Think through family, spending time with family. Cool. Okay, so that's your first one. Then the second one for me is relationships. So what I put is Brian time. So Brian Jackson, my husband, I want to spend time with him. I want to spend time with my family. I have a lot of family close by. I want to see them. Then I have amazing friends, and I want to create time and make plans with friends. Oh, I forgot a really important step. If you have colored pens or pencils, you can color code your buckets. That's what I did. If you want to do that, you can always do it later, and I'm going to teach you how to add it into your calendar with those colors. But make a color for everything. So relationships for me, it was my husband, family, friends. Okay, then my next bucket was health and fitness. So my own personal health and fitness. So here's what I put. For me, I put scheduling time for workouts. I need time to meal prep. I need time to get my meals together, because how often do we do that where we're like, I'm going to eat all healthy, and we don't schedule any time to put any meals together. So then we're out of food and we go to McDonald's or wherever we go. Then I actually put down meal time. So I wanted to be able to sit down and take 15 minutes to eat my lunch without shoving it in my face while I'm going somewhere. Okay. So think of 3 examples for each, and you can always go back. Okay. So Beachbody. Here we go on to Beachbody. So your last 2 cups. So the first ones, you'll see that the first ones come first because they're personal. They're the most important. Then your Beachbody business comes in. So your Beachbody personal business, these are the things that and I'm going to let you decide what they are, but that move the needle forward in your business. Whatever that is that you're doing to market and find new people, recruit new coaches. If you have a blog or a website, if you're recruiting, if you're doing things on social media, if you're starting a challenge group, those are all things that go towards your personal business. Cool? Then you've got organizational time. So only 10% or less goes to your team. And luckily, you guys, we have such great resources in our team. We have a team page full of files. We have calls like this for your coaches to plug into. There's I mean, we do recruiting calls, all kinds of things. So don't feel like you need too much time. So like these things for me is like running our team page, putting team challenges up there, running team calls, getting new coaches started right. That's huge. So the biggest chunk of your business is on your personal business. Okay. So then next step, got those? Everyone good so far? Does that make sense at least? And take some time to fill this out on your own. But okay, so the next thing is to schedule it. So basically what you're going to do is color code, and you can do this whether you're a person who does your schedule on the computer, Google Calendar and iCalendar, any of those programs, you can color code and assign a color to each thing. So I kind of do both. I do it on my Google Map or on my Google Cal, and this is the Passion Planner. So what I did basically was, and I'll show you guys if you can see this, is I made a list with each color that I did from the boxes. So I have personal time, relationships, health and fitness, Beachbody personal business, and Beachbody organization. Then I take that time and schedule it into my calendar. So each thing has a time slot. So even something, you guys, and this sounds so silly, but scheduling your workouts, if we don't actually schedule them and take time, we don't get them done. And don't we tell our challengers that all the time? You have to schedule your workouts. So it's taking those things, and if you have a full-time job, then you mark out from 9 to 5, here I am. But here's where I do my workout. Maybe at my lunch break, here's where I do my 15-minute power quarter of an hour, whatever it is. But you have to take, and this we can't, obviously we don't have time to in the call to do, but you've got to take, tonight when we get off the call, take 10 minutes and kind of look at your schedule, look at what's coming up, and then block. So you'll see on mine this pink. So tonight, like Wednesday, you can see it's like further down because I have the team call, then the pink. After that, I'm done. I shut down. That is my night off with my husband. But wherever you are, I block in that personal time, block in the activities, and block in each activity. So like, so if I've got, for my Beachbody personal business, if I have I'm learning about marketing and social media every day, I study on that, blocking out 30 minutes for that. Recruiting, when am I going to do my invites? So just really taking time and being really specific in your calendar about how you block out your time. But I hope that really helps. And I think the key is to not have more than 5 buckets, because then we start dipping in, if you can really narrow it down to what are the most important things, and then obviously you get tasks in each one, I think that's really going to help you guys make some progress in terms of just, if it doesn't fit in one of these things, you get to say no to it and just give you a little bit of release. Is that helpful? So that's the scheduling. And this is, the magic comes when you put the work in. The magic comes when you take time to really sit down and really look through this and figure out what's important to you. And if you have, and in terms of your business, I know we're talking about balance in terms of your life, but also in terms of your business, if you have big goals, that has to become a priority, and it has to get scheduled out more time and more sacrifice if you've got big goals in the business. Okay, next, let me see if I can get back to this big. So affirmations, this is going to go, that kind of goes with that, like loving yourself. So you get out of your business what you put into it. And maybe not immediately. You might feel like you're really digging in and you aren't sensing the payoff yet, but it will come to fruition. It needs a little time to grow and to learn. But I also really believe, someone posted something in one of our leader pages, and it talked about basically your income is a direct reflection of the work that you've put into your business. So if you feel like you haven't made it a priority or your income isn't there, you have to really look back at what you've been doing, and does that add up to the kind of income you think you deserve? And that's kind of a harsh way to look at it, but just turn the finger around and say, what have I or haven't I done? And then use what you know now to prioritize your time to put your business really up front. Eventually you'll reap what you sow. The only thing that would kill you is doubt or giving up, and knowing that it will compound, that it does take time. And it's just remembering these things. And if you want, take a screenshot of this. These are good things to say out loud to yourself every day. And I think that, like, when I think about the times that I just felt really stuck in the business, my belief got me through. I knew where I was going. I saw a vision. So set that vision every day when you wake up of, what does my business look like? What does my life look like? And the balance. let's see. Oh, the affirmation that you have to remind yourself that this business does not discriminate. No one does better just based on who they are. It's all based on your work ethic. So if you do the work and if you believe it and you don't give up, you're going to be successful. Like, it's just, you have to continue to keep plugging away. And then I love this. Affirm that plenty of people want you as their coach. There's a reason that they're going to connect to you more than anyone else, and it's your job and it's your duty to get your story out there and do the best in your business that you can so that they can find you. And there's always room at the top, and you're exactly where you're destined to be, and your business is exactly where it's supposed to be, so don't look back, just look forward. Okay, so here's some calls to action. So obviously take some more time, fill these buckets out, put your colors to them, put the things that make them make your life like bubbly, doing these things, and then put them into your calendar, schedule them, and then make it non-negotiable. So, so what can you get over? What excuses are you using now? Time might be the biggest one. What can you get over and go past? What can you change in your daily routine? What can you cut out? What is not working? What is not serving? Man, it's scary to say no at the beginning, but oh, it's so freeing. Do it. Try it tomorrow. Say no to a couple things at least. And then what can you implement in your business? What systems, what training, what tools do you need to take that leap so that it becomes a little easier and you have a little more balance? And then what do you love about this business? Focus on that. So if you love running challenge groups and you love working with customers, do more of that. If you love finding business builders and teaching them how to grow a business, do more of that. Connect with the things that you connect with in the business, because they're going to shine a light on you and they're going to attract more people like you to the business. And then write down the opposite of your limiting belief. So that's a lot of that affirmation stuff is, I believe I'm a good coach, even if you don't feel like you are. I believe I'm capable. I believe I can have a 6-figure income. I believe I'm inspirational. I believe I'm going to reach my health and fitness goals. I believe, for me, I always say, I believe I'm efficient and organized, because most of the time I'm not, but I believe that I'm going to be, and I'm on my way. I'm trying. And then take these things and schedule them. Put them on your calendar, make them non-negotiable, and make it fun. Make your calendar gets to be like, totally make your day magical. And if it's fun for you to write out and have colored pens and pencils and stickers and make it really fun so that you stick to your calendar, great. If you like Google Cal or whatever it is, there's so many ways to make, don't spend 5 hours trying to figure out your calendar, but figure out a way to make each category a color and schedule it in. And then that way you don't have to question what to do next because you've scheduled your time. So that kind of wraps it up. I just, again, you get to create a life you love. And if freedom is what you're working towards, if you're working to get out of your job, be really efficient. Why stretch it out? Why make it longer than it needs to be? Get it done. Get your work done. Do it in the shortest amount of time possible. Get your work done so that when you're at your job, you can be present. Schedule your stuff with your family so you can be present with them, because if you're running a great business and you're going to make a lot of money, what good is it if you don't have your family? And just take the excuse out that time is not on your side. When we make time an enemy, it becomes one, because what we put out there, what we put into the universe comes back tenfold. So kind of embrace the idea of time, that there's plenty of time. You get to do what you want. You get to choose. You have choices. We live in a free country. We get to do a business. We got to start a business, you guys, for $100. It's crazy. And it's all up to you, and you get to create it. And even if there are things that aren't in your control, there's a lot that is in your control, and focusing on that and how you can make the best out of the time that you do have that's the big picture, is just embracing it. Some self-love, say, I have the time, I will make the time, I will be efficient, I will use my time wisely. And I think that by practicing that affirmation and then putting the tools in place, I think you really can release some of that overwhelm. So I'm going to take this off a screen share. Do you guys have questions or thoughts or just emotions around time management? I really struggle with it myself. So this was, just for me too. So what do you guys think? What do you need?
I was just going to say something, if that's cool.
Yes, please.
I was going to say that I used to spend a lot of time on the non-income producing activities, and it was very eye-opening for me when I had my baby, because I only have so much time. So I've realized now that I have to focus on the things that are the most important. So it's, if you really pare down your time and do, what Julia just talked about, I think you'll realize you're probably wasting a lot of time on stuff too. So just kind of really evaluate that. And I think that you'll be surprised that you can make a lot more money in a lot less time.
Yeah. Because you feel better. You don't want to be stressed out. I love that idea of being like, join my business. I'm super stressed out and I work like 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to join. And I was doing that. Like, I'm like, no one wants to, I don't want to be me. Why would I ask anyone else to do that? And so I feel like, and I think there's this idea of like, oh, well, if it's full time, it's easier. It's not. And you don't even need, honestly, I always say I did better when I had a full-time job because I had to be really efficient. And I'm learning that now that I'm home. I'm like, I don't need to work more than 4 hours a day. That's plenty, and that's full time, you guys. That's a 6-figure income full time. You don't got to work that much. You just got to be efficient with it. So, Carla, did you have thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts.
Okay.
This, well, Julia knows because I just had a little powwow with Julia about how I'm feeling overwhelmed with everything. My head is constantly spinning with thoughts and ideas, and they all come to me at the wrong time. I'm in the shower or I'm driving and I don't have a place to write it down, but I get all these thoughts and they just keep compounding, and then I get overwhelmed and then I just don't even know where to begin. Do you guys know that feeling? You just don't even know what to do with everything and how to just start. And you just got to start, right? You got to start somewhere. That's well, who says that? John Maxwell. You just got to start. But I think with myself, and I just come to realize this. Yeah, was it yesterday you posted that picture of your office? And my huge problem is that I'm not organized in my house. I have everything set. My kids have a playroom in every room of the house. Let's be honest, right? They have a playroom, but they play everywhere. So why the heck, and I'm sitting in it right now, why the heck do they need this playroom? I'm going to turn this playroom into my office, and I'm going to start taking all the things that are everywhere, all over my house, all of my Beachbody stuff, my stuff in my room, my stuff in my living room. I have bits and pieces as I've been sitting here thinking, why am I not being efficient with my day? Is because my life is all over this house and it's not in one central location, and I'm feeling overwhelmed with everything being scattered, and my brain is scattered. And the other part is that I'm so type A. I don't like seeing, if I have messages on my phone, I don't like seeing that little icon that says 48 messages. I want that gone. I don't like seeing that. So I'm very quick about answering people when they ask me, and sometimes I let the day go by, and exactly what Brendan Burchard said. He's all of a sudden your day is what did I do? I have to schedule my work hours, and I've got 4 kids, and I feel like I'm running around all day, and I don't have a set time that I actually work my business. I work my business here and there throughout the middle of the day. And, it just kind of catches up with you. So this has been great. I just had this epiphany this week. I am pumped now because I'm going to get my office set up. I am going to start prioritizing, get my schedule set, and I'm excited. And the kids are going back to school, so it's going to be easier.
And I see Carla, because Carla's heart is so big and she just wants to help people right away, but it's because we work so closely. I'm stop answering messages. And I think that there's this idea, and I have to share with you guys, because you guys are leaders and you're building teams. The question I get, if I answered every question I got every day, I would never stop answering questions. And so it's really hard because it feels like I'm being mean or I'm not help, but it's actually, and I think that as a team, we need to set those expectations, and we can do that from the top, and then teaching our new people is, here's where you find answers. This is what you do. And not that we're not available for answers, but they have to be for questions that you couldn't have found somewhere else, I think, is the thing that we need to really set. So just be mindful of that when you ask another coach, or even in the team page, make sure you do your research and looking it up. Because as you guys add, I know some of you guys are adding coaches to your team, and you can start to feel that like, oh my gosh, if everyone wants a piece of you, you can't. And it all goes back to always doing your business first. It has to be like, you guys, I'm hustling every day. I'm like out there looking for people, and then I'll get, then you get to your team, and the team is such a priority. But I think that that's something we're struggling with, especially because we're having more leaders emerge, and people are like, I want to take care of my people, and we'll take care of them. Like, nothing, you know what I mean? So, I wanted Becca to share. So Becca actually is like a productivity whiz. So will you talk to us? Like, I mean, tell me if I was even on point. I don't even know. Like, you're the person. We need to have you do a whole call. But she also put a website in here. theproductivitypro.com has lots of free stuff. So tell us, like, is that a good way to look at it?
Absolutely. And everything that Brendan talked about, and making sure that where you're spending your time is going to get the result that you are looking for. You can, that site that I gave you, theproductivitypro.com, is actually a woman that I spent almost 7 years working for. And so I kind of became an expert on the topic of productivity, and it's what she talks about all the time. Look at things. One of her favorite things that she says is, if I didn't do this anymore, would anyone notice? Look at that stuff that you're spending time on. And if you're going, why am I doing this? Don't, and see what happens. Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? Spend your time where you want that result. And the self-care is so important. You cannot get anything done if you don't feel good. And that's like, I've spent the last year trying to get myself to feel good again so that I can be productive. Don't get yourself in a position where you're so sick that you can't function. Take care of yourself. But use that website, look at her blogs. She's got a lot of free resources, but there's also webinars that you can purchase. There's all, and feel free to, shoot me questions if you have, questions. I will answer them as I have time and as I put in my priority. So yeah, but that's a great place to start. And I would be happy to sometime do, a program. So I'll put
let's get you on the books for September. Speaking of, before I forget, Casey, look at that sweet baby. Oh, she's so cute. I love all the babies on the calls. Okay, next week I really want to get now that we have teams, like a standing team call, we need to like rally the troops, because we have like 1,000 people on our team, and like there's like 20 of us, which is rocking. But I think now that we've set the tone that, hey, we're doing this every week, so I need your help getting the word out. Next week, we're doing a joint team call with this awesome gal I met. Her name's Alexis. She's so cute. She's a 5-star coach. She lives here in Colorado. Really fun. So we're going to split it up, because she really wanted me to teach on Power Hour. So we'll talk about that, which will help you guys with this productivity thing. Then she's going to talk about like pages, because she's a whiz at like pages and finding new leads and finding people that we don't know. So we're going to split that one half and half and do that with her team. They're called the Barbells. Hi, Kendra. And then the week after, the 26th, I'm super excited about this call. So I have a really good friend, Leah, who's a marketing manager at Whole Foods. And I'm always like, hey, if you see anything funky in my social media, like, I'm always open for constructive criticism. And so she's given me some great tips about food photography and just making like authentic, engaging posts on Facebook that I think will be really neat, because she knows me really well, and she knows our Beachbody business really well. But she's coming from a different world. She's in Whole Foods, which is like like cleanly kind of same idea, but she does all of their social media management, advertising, and tracks the posts, and how to get more engagement and clicks and likes and shares and all that. So I think that's going to be huge. So mark your calendars, the 19th and then the 26th, before I forgot. Did anyone else have anything to add about time management, how you're going to implement this? Does it feel like it gives you like a little bit of sigh of relief? Like if you're like, I can schedule time to just hang, that feels good. That feels good, huh, Carla?
Yeah. I signed up for the at Massage Envy. They like suckered me into the monthly massages, and like I haven't gone to any. So guess what? Like every Monday until those things are used up, I'm going for a massage.
I think that's a great plan. It's a great plan. Well, cool, guys. This went a little longer than I meant it to, but I'm always trying to work on making it short and sweet for you guys. So Julie has a massage tomorrow. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, cool, you guys. Well, I love your faces. Thank you for being on here. Take some time to fill out your buckets. And maybe, you know what, let's post like a picture of when you finished your schedule and tell us when your free time is and your Beachbody time. So I'll make a little thread in the Coach Connection page. Show us your schedule and what you're going to be doing and even like a picture of what you put in the buckets. I think it'll be fun for everyone to see each other's examples. So anything else? Okay, have a wonderful night. Bye.